Ways of the Wild Institute in Vermont. Continuation of my edible series, and we're going to look at a member of the nettle family today. I've had a few people over the past couple months ask me about nettles. I guess there's a little confusion out there about them. Some people have heard they're edible, some people have heard they're not edible. Some people just know that they sting and itch when they rub against them. So I'm going to try to clear that up today, help a few people out. I think we're going to take a look at the wood nettle today. Right now I'm surrounded by wood nettle, so great spot. It likes its feet wet. Stream banks, marshy areas, wet, real shaded, thick canopy forests, southern Canada, all the way down to, Texas. You can find it all the way down into Florida, all the way to the coast. So it's got a huge range. And the nettles are aliens, all right? They did, not aliens from outer space, of course, but they're not native. They did come from the European countries. So let's take a look at the wood nettle. Wood nettle, and it does like to grow in large colonies, all right? Once it gets into an area, it really spreads quick, a lot like the stinging nettle and also the slender nettle. They just have those characteristics. Let's take a look at the leaf of the wood nettle. All right, now you can see the leaf is quite large. All right, this plant can grow up to about 4 feet tall, by the way. And you'll see that it does have very sharp serrated edges to it. And you'll also notice that the leaf does not cave in on the back like a ginger leaf, but it's rounded. So if you look where it connects to the stem, it does connect in a very smooth or rounded fashion. And these are very soft leaves, okay, with deep veins, as you can see. The older leaves are dark green, and the younger leaves, you see, are pale green. And yes, what gives the nettles its reputation, you see that stem there, all those stinging hairs on it? Now the wood nettle is different than the slender nettle, or the stinging nettle in, first, the leaf size and shape. Also, that these have much fewer stinging hairs than the other varieties of nettle. But if we get in here to that stem, weave our way around the leaves, you will see that there are stinging hairs all the way up and down. All the way down there to the base. You'll see those stinging hairs. Fine white ones. And the very base of the stem, see that? Just goes straight into the dirt. Comes straight up. It's a very rigid stem, okay? Besides the hairs, it's smooth, meaning it has no ridges, no grooves in it. Alright, it's smooth and it is shiny. And filled with those hairs. And you can see the leaves, they start fairly low on the stem. Alright, and they're alternate. Now, if you look underneath the canopy leaves here, you'll see these little yellow guys. Now those are the flowers. Now it flowers from about May to July. And they get those little yellow and yellow-green. Sometimes they're just green, they're not even yellow at all. Little cluster flowers. Almost looks more like a yellow fungus on the plant than a flower. And they get them hanging off the branches. And you can see even all the way up to the bottom of the top leaves there, you'll see them just kind of hanging off. Now if we look flat across the top of the leaf, you'll notice that it's smooth. There's no hairs up there. However, if we look to the bottom of the leaf, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this because the hairs are really fine. But the stinging hairs are on the bottom of the leaf. See, this leaf's turned over, and if you look at the top edge, right up here, you'll see the fine stinging hairs. This is your common wood nettle. What's edible on it? Well, these leaves are edible. If you pick these leaves very gently, alright, usually when you pick nettles, it's best if your hands are wet, I've noticed, because it kind of dampens the ability of the chemical, the stinging chemical, to bind with your skin. However, if you use gloves or pull up your shirt sleeve, it also works very well for harvesting the leaves. You just snip them off at the stem, and then you can rinse them off, get all the pollen and dust and dirt debris from the forest, and then steam them. You just steam those for a couple minutes. I usually like to steam them for 2-3 minutes at the most. That preserves all the nutritional content. And just eat them, because cooking neutralizes the stinging chemical. You can also make tea. Same thing. Boil your water and then take your water off the heat. And then tear up your leaves and put them in the hot water and cover and let it steep for about 10 minutes. It's a delicious and highly traditional medicinal tea. But you can also eat these raw if you need to. Let me show you how. Okay, if you want to eat these raw, if you're out in the woods and you're hiking and you want a little snack or something, what you want to do is, first of all, be very careful. Second, you want to remember that the stinging hairs are on the bottom of the leaf and the stem, not the top. So after you give your thanks and you harvest a leaf, what you want to do is you want to roll this leaf. Okay, this is the top of the leaf right here. What I want to do is I want to fold the leaf over on itself. So I'm folding the bottom of the leaf together. I'm folding it again, and I'm folding it again, and I'm folding it again, until all of the leaf bottom is packaged up in this teeny little leaf bundle. That way all the stinging hairs are contained on the inside. And then once you contain all the stinging hairs on the inside, you can eat it. Now, wood nettle, I think it has one of the best flavors of all the nettles. It's very mild. So that's about it for the wood nettle. This is Ways of the Wild Institute. I'm White Wolf, and if you have any questions about any of my videos, feel free to email me at firewolfways.com. Actually, firewolfways@gmail.com. And if you have any interest in what we do up here in Vermont, check out our website, waysofthewildinstitute.com. Love to see you up here in person. Will Mollison, be well and happy.